Oceans in Minecraft nowadays are pretty cool. With several biomes, structures, shipwrecks, and marine life, the oceans for modern Minecraft are vibrant and lively. However, with everything new added to the oceans, I feel like a change made nearly 8 years ago to fix an old problem has now become a problem of its own, and I've thought of a few solutions to make Minecraft's world generation truly great. First, we should probably go all the way back to Alpha 1.2. It added in a bunch of stuff, so much that I don't really have time to list everything, but the two main things it added in was the Nether and biomes. Before this update, the entire world was essentially endless forest and mountains with no significant variation. In this new update, however, Notch, the original developer of Minecraft, added in 10 biomes, often defined more by temperature and humidity rather than blocks and visual differences. Oceans weren't actually one of these 10 biomes, and instead were treated as buffers to separate land. Fast forward to Beta 1.8, and Mojang is working on the Adventure update, which would end up drastically changing the game for the full release of Minecraft, revamping swamps and deserts, and getting rid of savannas and shrubland, while combining the 3 different forest biomes. Oceans were added in for real, with dirt, sand, and clay making up the floor, similar to the lakes you may find in forests. As 1.0 came and passed, and new updates started coming out, people began to have some serious issues with the new oceans. And to understand why, we'll have to see a Minecraft world from thousands of blocks up high. Using a seed viewer, this is actually pretty easy to do. If we check any random seed in version 1.0, for example, and zoom out as far as we can, you'll notice that the Minecraft world is made up of continents surrounded by a massive ocean that makes up a huge portion of the entire seed, which is quite similar to the real world action. But when playing the game, if you were next to an ocean or spawned on an island, you had no idea if the closest continent was a few hundred blocks away or a few thousand blocks away. But the least appealing thing about the old oceans was that they were boring. They weren't very deep and had no variation, no structures, no fish, just billions of blocks of water with the occasional squid. Mojang decided to change this in 1.7.2, the update that changed the world. New biomes were added, and all biomes were made bigger, except for oceans. Oceans were decreased in size significantly, surrounded by land and filled to the brim with islands. It became very difficult to find a vast body of water, and mushroom islands became excessively rare. This worked for years because oceans still didn't offer much. Release 1.8 added in ocean monuments, but after that nothing would change for 4 years. Until 1.13, the update Aquatic, which has given oceans the variety and content it sorely lacked. The problem now is that oceans are still tiny, surrounded by land, and not to mention there's 9 aquatic biomes squished into the same amount of space that the original 1 biome got. What I'd like to see is the return of continents, land biomes surrounded by an interconnected ocean, but on a much smaller scale. These land masses could be 1 to 2,000 blocks large, with oceans separating islands by a few hundred to a few thousand blocks. We could see different types of continents. One could be made of solid formations with a clearly defined coastline and interior, while another might be akin to an archipelago, with large islands separated by straits with dozens of smaller islands surrounding them. You could also have temperature-based continents, where a hot continent would have a much higher chance of deserts, savannas, and jungles. A cold continent would have more tundras, taigas, or ice spikes, while a temperate continent would have a mix of forests, plains, and mountains. Mojang could also add in special regions. Imagine rare continents where all the biomes are shattered, or a volcanic hellscape where grass can't grow and the sun is blocked out by ash. Maybe an idyllic island with bright green grass where hostile mobs don't spawn. I'm kind of going beyond what would be accepted for vanilla Minecraft, but I'm just throwing out ideas. And if you have any ideas, I'd love to hear them in the comment section. Beyond normal world generation, it'd be neat to have far more options when creating a world, like the ability to choose between the newer or older world gen, or a choice to spawn in a type of continent of your choosing, or be able to make your own custom world. I really miss the custom world options from 1.12, and really hope to see it come back. But in general, every Minecraft playthrough should feel like a unique experience, and this could go a long way in achieving that. In conclusion, Minecraft's oceans and the world generation as a whole is very boring after so many years. Loading into any given world will give you a similar experience. Changing this up would add in a lot of variety and make the game far more interesting. I'd hope to see something like this in the future. Mojang hasn't significantly updated World Gen in almost 8 years. and I believe an update making a huge changes to the current way biomes are spread out would greatly benefit all of us. Anyways, that's pretty much it for this video. If you agree with me, please leave a like and consider subscribing. And if you disagree with me, feel free to dislike this video and tell me why in the comment section. And as always, have a good day, and I'll see you all in the next video.